Boom. Best Conversations Podcast. I am your host, Killer TV. I want to thank everybody for checking out the last episode 7, the crunk era. You know what I mean? A lot of people was like, damn, crunk era, that's your favorite era? Yeah, it's my favorite era. I don't care about you 90s niggas. Like, the crunk era is my favorite era of hip-hop. So, shout out to everybody that went back listening to episode 7. We in episode 8, and I got some special guests. Best Conversations, man, you know, people like for me to interview people and, you know, do all that thing, talk to the up-and-coming rappers, singers, innovators, creators, but I like having good conversations about, you know, real topics and things going on in our community. So I got some real special guests in here. A couple of people that I've known for a hot minute. I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll start with my partner, Chris, right here.
Christopher Reives in the building, the Black Superman. Just getting into what I like to do best, acting. I'm also producing, and we're putting together a play for the DC African American Film Festival called Get Your Hands Out of My Pockets.
Super dope.
That'll be June 2020. It's about black men battling the child support system. So it's gonna be good. Yeah.
Know about that.
So yeah, it's an amazing time right now. So
introduce your lovely young lady.
This is the love of my life, also my biggest headache. I love her to death. This is Brittany Spence.
How you
She's
doing?
been a part of my life for going on 7 years now.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, it's been that long.
Hey, Brittany.
How you doing? Thank
And
you for having us.
Brittany also has her own podcast. Introduce your podcast to the world as well, which I'm a big fan of.
Thank you. It's The Caption Outloud. So basically, we just interview like friends and family, people in the community doing things, who we feel that are successful in our eyes, and we definitely want you to come on too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Soon, yes.
Yeah.
We
Got
took
to.
a little break, but we're gonna be back at it. So yeah, you guys follow us at The Caption Out Loud on IG, Facebook, and YouTube.
We're just getting
Yes.
up them episodes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. I really encourage everybody to go check their podcast out because it's really dope. Like, really good conversation. It's produced really well. We had the studio that they actually use, and it's really good and it's really dope. So just before we get into this conversation, just the backstory of how I know both of y'all.
Right.
So I'm gonna start with Brittany.
Yes.
So I used to work at FedEx.
Right.
And Brittany was the receptionist at this apartment complex that I used to deliver to like every single day.
Yeah. The assistant
And
manager, though.
The assistant manager, excuse
there
me.
You go. No, you good.
You was at the front, so I'm just
I
gonna
was
say the
at the front.
receptionist.
No, you good. Yeah, that's right.
But
That's right.
yes, assistant manager. So I used to come in there every single day and drop off those packages to Brittany. And I used to be like, oh boy, I hope she's in a good mood today.
You did.
I used to be, man, I'm scared of black women, man. I ain't even gonna lie, because you just never know. Some days she might offer you that Kool-Aid and that water, but then some days she might give you that look like, nigga, give me these packages and get me the fuck out the way and get this signature and get the fuck out of here.
I don't want to be bothered.
I don't want to be
Get on.
bothered today. So, at first,
Hey, you know the bad part about it is, I was probably the reason why she had them faces.
Probably.
eventually, that's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah, I was about to
Eventually,
say,
we figured that shit out.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, why is she mad today? And then, I don't know, like, a little while later, we put 1 and 2 together, and I was like, oh shit, you go with Chris? I said, no wonder you mad every day. No wonder you mad every
It
day.
was. Oh my goodness, Lord.
And
yes.
then so I know Chris because when I used to work at FedEx, his father was my man. He was the GM at the FedEx hub and shit. And so me and Chris been knowing each other for a while, and so I didn't even realize they was together. So that's the backstory of how I know these two, which is crazy.
And we're gonna shout out MS Reives because he's the reason why I met her.
Really?
Yes, he's the reason
how we
why I met her.
Really?
Where we was living at, she was working at.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like a friend of a friend of a friend
Okay.
ended up long shot. We ended up meeting, and she came over for dinner.
Okay.
He cooked.
And I had cooked. That
Okay.
night.
Fried chicken.
Can he cook? Can he cook?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
He
decent.
can burn
I'm
a little
decent.
bit.
I'm not top chef or nothing like that, but
Nah,
I
babe, you
do a
good.
little bit.
Really?
Yeah. So I had cooked that night. Good old black people food. Some chicken.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Stuff
Red
like
beans
that.
and rice.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we chopped it up after we ate. I was playing with her daughter, which is now my daughter.
Absolutely.
As well. Taylor, we were just playing up a storm, and then I offered to walk her home, and we sat up and talked for hours. I was late getting to work the next day because I was up talking to her all night. So, and it was history from there.
History from there.
Yeah.
I rock with it. So, Best Conversations Podcast, episode 8. This episode, we're talking about past relationships and good relationships. And the new phenomenon that a lot of people are talking about is black men don't cheat. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why can't we say all men don't cheat or whatever? Just starting with you, Chris, and I'm not trying to get you in no shit, Chris. But I know you got. I know you got to go home. I'm not trying to get you in no shit. And
I hit all the knives
okay,
before coming down.
okay. Without indicting yourself or getting yourself in trouble, talk about like a past relationship that was like bad, like just terrible, and now looking back at now, and what makes you feel so happy and appreciated that you with the one you with now.
All right, so college.
Okay.
Moved to Raleigh 2009, and I was in school. We had a house. It was me and my best friend at the time had got a house up here, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and we had a studio in the front because I was going to school for digital audio. So, shortly after moving up here, met this girl. She lived in the neighborhood that we were always hanging out in. And it started off as a friendship among friends, and it turned into a relationship. And it got way off track. So, it had a lot to do with me not being in the mindset of, being dedicated to school the way I needed to be, and also being too dedicated to a relationship that I wasn't prepared for.
Right.
And trying to overachieve. And so I had, doing all this crazy stuff and being the crazy person I was, and then I really didn't start realizing how far I had got off track until I had my best friend from Sanford had died. 2011. So from 2009 to 2011, it was like a full on trying to balance school and relationship. Got way off track. I had lost the car that I was driving. I had dropped out of school, and just trying to focus on this relationship and trying to find these dead end jobs to try to keep money, and it just went south,
Right.
And whenever my best friend died, I went further into the streets, and which ultimately ended the relationship, but I didn't know it yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Once I had really woke up, and seeing who I had become and lost the point that I was trying to get to before all of the relationship and everything, it was right on time because it started preparing me, not knowingly, to be in the relationship I am now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it stretched out just about till a year until I met her. A year before I met her.
Now, as a young man, would you recommend, to another young man when you're trying to, because I remember being in college and being young, and it's so hard to balance.
Oh yeah.
as young black men, man, like I'm gonna tell my son, like, yo, focus on college,
Yes.
school. Like, you don't even worry about the relationship, like, because yo, as
Like
men, we're
Dave
stupid.
Chappelle said.
We're stupid, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're stupid. We can't balance anything.
No.
We can't
No.
balance anything. So the matter of trying to balance a relationship in school and everything else is like, it's super hard. Like it's super hard. Like being 34 now and realizing like what I
All
have.
the time. The
like,
time is wasted. Yeah.
man, like it's super hard, and I wouldn't even, like, you hurt a lot of people on the way
Yes.
to get to something special.
Yes.
And you just kind of feel bad, like, damn, I should, you hurt people and mess that up.
You working so hard for this person
Right.
that you done drug down all of these people.
Yes.
You know, for this one person, not even realizing it. You know, and
Yeah.
then once you step outside of that world and look back on it, it's like,
Yeah.
all the stuff that I could have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, where would I have been today if I would have known now,
Right.
knowing that back then, you know? But, you know, it's a part of the growing process. And I feel like God put me in those positions, in those situations, in that relationship and everything to put me and position me and teach me the things that I know today. You see what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't for me going down those roads, I wouldn't have dealt with the people I've dealt with and seen the different personalities I've seen, and, you know, had that trust broken, you know, to where I can know how to trust and to be with somebody today.
Right.
You know, so
Now Brittany, like we talked off air. You told me you was 33, so I'm pretty sure you have experienced a lot of you know, relationships, heartbreak, love, whatever,
All of that.
the whole nine. So briefly, is there a relationship that come to your head that, you know, that was just, that kind of had you hypnotized, like, not hypnotized, well, I guess say hypnotized because you were so young, like a past relationship that you thought was good, but you just kind of maybe realized, like, maybe you were just young, it wasn't for you. Is there anyone that come to mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there have been times, you know, where we all, you know, especially young, like you were saying, even young women,
Right.
you're not ready to balance all that stuff. And I know for me, one, I was involved with this man, and he had a lot of children. And later, after we were involved, he finally came clean and told me he was still living with someone. And I'm like, how? Because you with me every night. Like, what in the world? Like, you know.
It's crazy how men finesse this shit.
I'm telling you, they do, and they do it. You know, I'm like, you always with me. You got somebody at home, like a whole family. But so that was kind of wild, and it was a wake up call because I was just like, dang, why am I settling for this? Like, you know,
Right.
but for so long, I was just so into him, and just, I don't know, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. It took a
And
while to get out of it.
what made you kind of realize, like, okay, like this might not be Mr. Right?
Yeah. Just whenever I found out like he wasn't really gonna leave, I was like, okay, enough is enough. Like I can't do this anymore. And I just gave him an ultimatum, and it was staying the same. So I just stopped. And in that moment, that's when I was like, okay, I'm not settling for any of this anymore. And then literally when I came across and met him, I was so not focused on men. I was like, I'm done.
Right.
I'm tired. I'm done.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay. Like we all, like not all, but most people that have read like Steve Harvey books. Like, do you believe in like some of Steve Harvey's therapy, like you know, with the 90-day rule and some of his, you know, things that he, you know.
Yeah, some of it's really good, but some of it I feel like you just have to fill out the situation.
Okay.
Because Chris and I didn't have any of those rules. Okay. Let me tell you, we didn't do any of that stuff.
if it wasn't for the law,
You stupid.
on us.
But I feel like you have to just kind of read the person and just figure it, like if it feels, because sometimes I can't even say that because, you know, you may feel one way because if you're doing things early, like having sex, you know, like tonight when you just met him, it could work or it couldn't. But
Right.
I know for me, we've been in a relationship so long I can't even like really remember, but we clicked.
Right.
And it was a different kind of dynamic with us.
Right.
You know,
right,
it was deeper than just, just I like him, like he likes me, let's just do this. Like no, like we were able to joke and laugh, and I was
Which
able
is
to
so
authentically
important.
be myself.
Yes. Right.
And for the longest I was telling a girlfriend of mine, like before I used to be what I thought men wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people seen through that.
Mm-hmm.
So with him, I've just been me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just refreshing in itself. And it just kind of, I was like, wow, this guy really likes me for me.
Just for you.
Just for me.
That is so beautiful. Like, because so many times, like in the first beginning, it's like meeting your representative. Like it ain't really you.
Like a job interview.
Yeah, like a job interview. The first 2 weeks you opening up all the doors.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're doing everything you're supposed to, but by the time you get to 3 or 4 months, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Out. Yeah.
How important was it for Chris to have that relationship with your child? You know, how important was that in your relationship in the beginning?
Oh yeah, that was very huge. Yes. I was actually telling her, we were talking about it today. I said, because I had maybe like 2 boyfriends prior to Chris, and Taylor would give guys a look like,
nah, that ain't
it.
it.
And I'd be like, well, we done. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like kids know, they're very honest.
Right.
And so day one, she let him tie her shoe. She let him pick her up, and she was just all into it. And I was just like, oh, he behind me.
That was my baby for real.
So, but that's really huge to me, because I was just like, I can't be with anyone that's, that doesn't work. Like, it was non-negotiable.
Yeah, and even bringing it back to myself, yeah, that is humongous. Like, like if you can't deal with my child, like before I met my wife, I had my daughter was like 2 at the time, and and if that dynamic didn't work,
exactly.
it's not, it's definitely nothing there. Like with men, I just think we just grow up like super immature. Like super immature. We grew up on rap music, 90s movies, where, like the women ain't shit, and all that. And so we grew up like really, really slow. Like we develop really slow, and we don't really catch it. And so like, cause me growing up, man, it was just like, no disrespect, it was just like, how many can I sleep with?
Of course, yeah.
That's just the dynamic of how I grew up. Like, how many can I sleep with? Like
the way we was taught.
Right, like, and I ain't trying to offend anybody, but I didn't know any faithful men growing up. I didn't know no faithful men growing up. I knew nobody faithful. Like, I watched my older brothers cheat. I watched my cousins cheat. I just really personally thought that's what men do.
Right.
And I thought the older ones, they taught us how to finesse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I just thought that's what men do. Like, you got one here, you got one there, you got one there. And with me personally, it took like some stuff to happen with me, just like karma. Like, I just realized, like, oh man, like, stuff ain't really happening right. Like, this got to be karma, because like everything that's happening, like my life was just really going, like after I done had my fun, like my life just really went in shambles. Like around 2008, like my life really went in shambles, and all I could really chalk it up to was just straight karma, because I was like, man, I did a lot of women wrong. And after I kind of weathered the storm, all that, I was just like, man, I got down on my knees and I prayed, and I asked God, like, send me somebody real, like for real. And here comes my wife, you know what I mean? And even after that, even after she come, you still don't even really know. Yeah, you still don't really know. You still don't really know. You like,
because you learn not to trust anybody,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Said the key. Any keys, Lynn? We'll edit this part out.
No keys.
No keys.
Hey, can we bring some water? But yeah, so like, what was I saying?
Okay, what I remember just like I just felt like a lot of karma for all the dumb shit I done and just treating women wrong. And then so when my wife came along, I still didn't really quite understand because she was like older.
Yeah.
She was educated. But I still didn't really understand how to just be this faithful man and just deal with one woman. Like,
it feels
does it frustrate you? Like sometimes when men just being so like kind of immature sometimes and not really getting it. Like, cause
Oh yeah.
Her phrase, the phrase I heard the most in like the first 6 months. You just don't get it. You don't get it. You just don't get it.
And I'm a different kind of female, like when it comes to stuff like that, because me, I wasn't faithful in a lot of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he knows this, so I'm gonna keep it G.
Okay,
so,
let's be G. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, all right. I mean, seriously. So I mean, I'd just be like, well, whatever. All right. You ain't doing this, so I'm gonna go out and find me one with.
Right.
It's different stuff like that, and then I got tired of that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know exactly where you guys are coming from because it began to be a lot. And then whenever I went through my stuff around that same time, 2009, I believe, I really had a wake up call, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot. So, but yeah, I mean, it was frustrating. Because whenever I did have someone, and it got done to me, of course I was pissed off, but I was like, well, I can't really, because I've been doing the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Do y'all all believe in karma?
Yes, it's definitely, and I feel like it's God's lessons. I really feel like God will show you, like, okay, you have done this for so long, and
right?
You know that it's not
and you know what's weird, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
God will let you like do a lot of messing up, a lot.
He would he'll take his hands off of you, and
right?
He'll let you get everything you want. Until he show you the ultimate lesson.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. And once you know it's him. Once it happens, you be like, oh man, God just, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I see it now. You know. And you be so crushed and so destroyed, like it'd be like once it happens, it's like, I'm sorry, God, forgive me.
Right, God, forgive me.
Show me what's next.
Right,
you know.
Yep.
And I've been through that multiple times with not only like relationships, but in life, and growing up and just moving forward. It took me a long time to move forward because of me stuck in my mess, not wanting to change, just wanting to rebel. You know, so
yeah, that is so true, man. Like God will let you go through the whole mess. Like I'd be like, dang, like you let me go through all that, but then when it happens, when it's all over, and when you're at your lowest, you just get to your knees and pray. And I got down on my knees. I said, God, send me a good woman, and he sent me my wife. So we got this whole thing now. Black men don't cheat. What's your thoughts on that?
So, like, what do you mean this thing? Because I haven't really heard about like.
It's like it's a song. First off, it's a song.
It's a song. Okay.
It's a song by Lil Duval and Charlamagne. So it's a song, and a lot of now people saying black men don't cheat. And yeah, black boys, they do what they want to do. But black men, we don't cheat. And okay, this is about to get real. So I just feel like, me personally, people fall in and out of love all the time. Like, if you ever been with somebody for a long time, very serious relationship, you're gonna be in love. You're gonna fall out of love. You're gonna love them. You know what I mean? Do you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because no relationship is perfect. Nobody is perfect. You know, it's no way anybody is perfect. Where just everything they do is just perfect. And I just think like sometimes when when it gets bad, then it just gets really bad, and then that's when the men or whoever in the relationship kind of slips, and it goes like that. So, so black men don't cheat. It's just it sounds crazy, you know. I would hope black men don't cheat because me personally, I can't cheat. I got too much to lose.
Exactly.
I got too much. I got too much to lose.
Right.
Personally, for myself, I got a wife that don't play.
Right.
Don't play at all, and I got too much to lose, so I can't cheat. And I have cheated. You know what I mean? Just to be 100% honest, I have cheated. I have fucked up. You know what I mean? And I don't care who see this. I have fucked up. And we have went through our shit and weathered the storm and got through it. And now it has only become better
and stronger
through everything.
Exactly.
And that's just the God honest truth.
Every relationship is not gonna be perfect.
Not gonna be perfect.
A real relationship.
But people like look at like social media.
It's not.
And look at that shit and like almost look at them shit like that shit's not even real, dog. It's not even real.
All social media is your representative.
Yeah.
If we talk about a representative the first 2 weeks of the relationship, that's everybody's representative is social media. They're not gonna put their whole entire life out there. They're not gonna put those arguments that they had with their significant other on there.
Right.
Like, it doesn't,
right before that selfie or that picture.
Exactly.
Right.
You know how many times we argued before taking pictures?
Right.
What?
Who not arguing?
Right.
Like if your relationship is that damn perfect.
Exactly.
Like, come on,
exactly.
Yes.
No relate, man. And Snoop said it. He was like, you know, yeah, me and my wife been together all these years. Of course we've argued. Of course we done went through our mess. Like, of course, you know, it was rocky times, but we just didn't show y'all that.
Right.
You know, it was just in their household. And a lot of people are forgetting, you know, the privacy of households.
Absolutely.
You know, the sanctity of a relationship and the privacy of it. It's not for everybody to know about.
Not.
You know, and like, I mean, we went through a big, huge thing about talking to other people about our relationships instead of talking to each other.
That's a great topic.
That's
like
detrimental.
like how, like I'm pretty sure you got some homegirl that's just like your best friends, and what do you think is the appropriate way to, you know, because we all need somebody to talk to.
Yeah,
we all need somebody to talk to, not to go crazy. So what do you feel like what's the appropriate thing to have that conversation about your significant other about with your homegirls that feel like, you know, that's not going to ruin the relationship?
Yeah. Well, and I have like two really good friends that I talk to and tell them stuff. They're non-judgmental. They're very, you know, open.
That's huge.
And that's the part.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of times, you know, I feel like I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. We was at the cookout. She was saying, I don't want to tell my friends, you know, this is going on with me because I feel like they're going to be judgmental. I said, well, are they even really your friends? Like, that's the part. And that's what you need to evaluate first and foremost. But, you know, I do still keep certain things in our home because I feel like that's really big. Earlier on, I just used to blab about him, you know, and there's certain family members that they are not fond of him because of that. It's, you know, I've moved past it, but they can't. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
Right.
So, I know a couple of family members of my wife that don't like me right now, but me and my wife has got past it. So please get past it too.
Exactly.
Hello.
Move on. Let it go. Let it go. The person that you lay down with every night, don't let it go. You need to let it go.
Right.
So
hello.
You know, it's bad. So yeah, I feel like you still need to keep those boundaries there, but definitely have someone that you trust that is non-judgmental that you can open up to, because I mean, my friends, you know, they're pretty real and straightforward, and they don't take sides. They don't, you know, they listen to and they really tell me the real. They're like, no, Brittany, well, maybe no, you tripping, sis. Sit down, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, I am, all right, you know. So
I have you know, completely stopped talking to family members about stuff in our relationship. Like, if stuff gets rocky, like, I may call them and talk about anything else just to change my mindset, like, get out of that anger and frustration and stuff like that at that moment. But they don't know what I'm calling for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll talk about anything else except for what's going on.
And I've never seen you ever like jump on social media and say anything super crazy.
Right.
Ever.
Right. And I took a sabbatical away from social media just because I didn't want it to get to that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I know I'm known to have a temper, you know, and like the best way for me to curve it is takes a lot of prayer. You know, like I talk to God a lot nowadays just to try to keep myself balanced and down to earth. Like I'm quick to take a walk. You know, like I don't have a good vice. You know, I'm trying to change that, but I always try to do something healthy. You know what I mean? Like I always try to like go to the gym, take a walk. You know, like just spend some outside time, something to kind of calm me down and bring me back to earth. Because I know 24 hours from now, I'm not even gonna feel the same way about the topic. You know, and I'm quick to just forget and move on. Right. I don't like holding grudges. That's the worst. I do not like carrying that extra baggage.
Grandma say, "Don't go to bed mad at each other."
Yeah, but sometimes.
Sometimes.
You could be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Good night." You know what I'm saying?
Don't touch.
Right. You know, it's be like that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can say you're not mad, but you still got that tension on you. Like I'm just gonna sit here and watch my Game of Thrones, calm down.
Right. Now, Brittany, like, how is it important in a relationship? A lot of women have this mean checklist. Career, gotta make this amount of money, and all this other stuff. How important is that to you in a relationship?
It used to be very important, like in the beginning when we first got together. I had all this stuff that I wanted to do, what I expected, all this, that, and the third. But the fact is, the only thing constant is change. Things are going to change in your life. You change.
Right.
He changes.
Right.
The dynamics of the relationship change. So you have
Number of children.
Yeah.
Right.
And that part alone, you know. Right. So it evolves. And what I had to do is be okay with that.
Right.
No, not having these hard deadlines, this hard list to where nothing can go wrong or whatever, because it was literally eating me alive.
Right.
Like trying to stick to all of that stuff. It's exhausting.
Very like women have this thing just like you know your man got to make this certain amount, and you know if he loses his job, the world is.
It's over and all. No.
So they believe in that job and not him.
Right. And see that, that's the part.
They believe more in the things that they can touch than the actual soul that they're connected to.
Yeah.
You know, and like I can't speak on a woman's behalf, but like, you know, I believe more in her potential of where she's going,
right,
and what she's capable of doing than what she's doing right now. This could be great. This could be fantastic, but there's always room to grow. There's always room to change, and you have to be able to accept that change and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know?
Yeah. That part.
Say that again, my brother.
You gotta get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh my God, that is so huge.
Like you just gotta be humble, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and I know for him, like with us, I was nagging about all this kind of stuff with him. And then literally I gave it to God. I got on my knees and I started praying for him in those areas. And literally like 21 days into 2017, things took a huge shift for the better.
Right.
And that's literally when it all started. And 2018, we went through some things, but now I can say this year, like it's just been amazing.
Still
but
not
I shifted.
perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect,
Still
but I
not perfect.
shifted my focus on like instead of the job, instead of having this and that, like really pouring into him and being his support and just taking everything with a grain of salt and just trying to keep moving forward. I mean, it was just I had to stop because it was draining me. Whew.
Yeah.
That list, boy.
Woo, that list, man.
They start there when they're young. Though,
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you want this and that,
and you know how much a woman's father mean to them growing up. You know, they daddy's little girls. Like if that father was there and was in their lives, like they look up to them like there's God and then there's their father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, that checklist starts with them, you know, and then their mother teaching them, you gotta get a man with that can protect you and that can take care of you and this, that, and the third, you know. So I believe that's how it grows.
Right. Now y'all a beautiful family of 3.
Got 3 kids.
Three
7,
kids.
3, and 1.
Yes.
Man. Lord Jesus, please send us some help.
Everyone, we are okay. We're here. Everybody's alive. We good.
Gotta do a head count every now and again. One, two.
Tell you.
What's the other one?
Right, man. I'm a father of 3 too. I
Yes.
already know. So, what's like some ambitions and goals and dreams that y'all have for y'all relationship going forward? You know, y'all seem like y'all have weathered the storm, and like what's some of the short term goals that y'all have for y'all family and relationship going forward?
Go first. Yeah, I mean,
communication is huge.
Communication
like,
is super huge.
Yes.
My wife would be right here right now, like, nigga, communication, nigga.
Right.
Communication, nigga. I'm texting your ass right now.
Right. Because he be couldn't be like, no, you didn't say that. So today I did something funny. I was like, I'm texting you and I'm emailing you because you can't say I didn't tell you.
And emailing?
And emailing.
Chris.
I just did that today. It's just being funny. Like, real true story.
I drive for a living.
Right.
Well, you got it in writing, so you
Right.
can't say I didn't say it. No, but definitely communication and just like forgiveness, like letting stuff
Huge.
go. Yeah, because it's not healthy to just keep holding on to things and just riding with that. And then just, you know, we try to have total transparency. You know, I think that being honest is definitely great and good, and you should. But being transparent is you just tell me. I shouldn't have to ask or poke or pry for things. So I think that is definitely something that we have gotten better about.
Very much so.
Yeah, and just, you know, I literally, and prayer, that really
God.
does
Yes.
work, y'all, for real. Like,
The blood.
we prayed tonight, like, we pray for everything, literally. And every
You
morning,
got to.
we
You
pray.
have to.
Every morning,
You
literally.
have to.
All the time.
You have to,
Constantly
man.
praying.
Yes.
Gotta have that
So,
relationship with God.
Yes.
Man, it's so important, man. It's so important.
Because the times that we were going through the most, we were the furthest away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you see it.
When you start making
Feel it.
excuses not to go to church,
Yes.
to not be involved with your relationship with God, to step away from prayer, like it just puts so much strain on everything else.
It does.
And it was just like systematically going down, like the car would go down, then both cars would go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, things happen.
It's funny, man.
Behind
It's
the ring,
wild,
and
just
then
like
the cable
that.
goes
Yeah.
out,
Yeah,
and then you start-
man.
And
Next
then
thing
like
you know,
you way back here, and be like, what happened?
It's-
It's like,
and he like, I'm right here.
yeah,
You took
I'm
me
waiting
out.
on you to
Yeah, I'm
reach
waiting on
back
you
out
to-
and grab my hand.
That's right.
I'm here.
Woo.
I've been here.
Yes.
You know,
that part. That part.
It ain't nothing but God, man.
It's nothing but God, man. It's
Seriously.
nothing but Him.
Yeah. So
That is so real.
You
Like,
got it.
that is so real.
as much as you're in love with your spouse or your significant other, you have to have that love, and that's the same thing. The communication with God, relationship with God, like studying the Word, you know, and constantly just praying to keep everything together. Because I've seen people get demolished stepping away, me being one of them. And I've seen people go to skyrocket levels with just being that faithful servant of God.
Yeah.
So
That becomes extremely frustrating to me because I don't really know the levels of like, man, should I pay more in tithes to get these blessings, or
But it's-
what am I doing? Because you're looking at the other church folks and you're saying like, man, he seems so blessed.
that's where
like,
you
what
messed
am I
up.
doing?
That's where you mess up. You cannot judge off of other people's circumstances whenever it's dealing with your relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Me and Brittany may be a couple that's following God, but we both have our own personal relationship with God. It doesn't matter. Like, you already know what you can handle with tithes and offering. You already know that you pray to and that you are changing your life for the best with Him. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't judge my circumstances off of off of what other people else, everybody else is doing with their relationship with God. I know that he got me right where he wants me to be at right now, setting me up for where he wants me to go. And it's ultimately going to bring her along. It's going to bring my kids along, and we're going to be moving the way that he wants us to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, as long as you have God in your household and you guys are working diligently to change your life for the best in his name, he's going to put you where you need to be at and where he wants you to be at, you know? And the only thing you can do is sit still.
Right.
You know? Like, faith without work is dead. You have to keep moving and let God take you to that level. You know what I mean? And soon as while you're not thinking about it, blink of an eye, you're gonna be. I don't even know how I got here.
Right. I got it.
You know, and that definitely happened with me.
Okay. Chris, Brittany, I want to thank y'all for being so vulnerable and talking about, you know, because a lot of people, man, like. They want to, like, have these platforms and these podcasts, but they're scared to be honest, man.
Yeah.
They're scared to be honest and talk about, you know, real stuff. Like some of my friends, like, I was like, yo, let's have this conversation, guys. Like, guys, friends in my group chat, like, let's have this conversation. But when I said, like, let's do it on a podcast, they get, like, really quiet. Like, nigga, you ain't about to put me out there. Like, but I mean, it's only honest, and you're only being real. Right. You know what I mean?
That's healing for others.
Like,
you know,
healing
like
for others. Yeah.
it is. I mean, we're slave to the truth. Like we
trying to tell you.
For real. Like we put it out there because you don't know who you gonna help and free. And on your story, and you're not going through it alone. Right. That's the thing.
I don't mind being humiliated. Like I mean,
I don't care about none of that.
My thing is like, I mean, if you are not true to who you are, you're not being yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As soon as you're trying to be somebody else, like this, like the better you is being demolished. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just be humble.
Be humble. Right. So let's talk. Before we wrap up, so we was talking. Y'all have a reality TV show that y'all are, you know,
it's in the works.
It's in the works. We got to wrap up soon, but briefly talk about that and what would the people expect from y'all life? Because it seems like a very interesting life that y'all have.
It's
you know what I mean?
Very eventful.
It's very animated.
From your daughter. You know what I mean, on IG. You know what I mean? While like, what could a Chris and Brittany reality show be like?
A lot of hilarity, but you know, just family as a unit. You know, the inner workings of a young family just trying to make it. You know,
the constant of
me
trying to juggle everybody's schedules and just goofing off. Like we do silly stuff, like we dance together in front of the TV, the songs and stuff like that. Like we make up stuff. Like Taylin, she's just always trying to be Miss Fashionista, so that's hilarious. Trent, our middle son, Lord have mercy, he's a show in himself. Just being goofy and then just showing the real side of like how it works. Like us, you will see an argument, you will see some stuff, you will see, you know, me yelling 20 times. Like, I mean, but it'll be all in good.
So y'all really ready for this?
Like, absolutely.
To give y'all whole life to the world.
Because
straight up reality. Nothing scripted.
Yeah, like
not doing that.
Just be comfortable who you are. That's right. That's what I.
And I really think like I talked to one of my close homeboys today that we went to truck driving school together, and man, we had this amazing conversation today. And just judging by his IG, I thought his life was going great.
Right.
Just judging by his IG.
See,
So, but me and him had this conversation today. And my God, his life is nowhere going great as I expected from IG. And he's going through some real shit. And you know what I mean? And now y'all giving y'all real shit to the world. To the world, man. So, Brittany, plug your podcast one more time and let people know about your podcast before we get out of here.
Yes, The Caption Out Loud on IG, on Facebook, and YouTube channel. Please subscribe.
And be on the lookout for Get Your Hands Out of My Pockets play.
Okay.
And also check out Can I Live organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to thank y'all again.
Thank you.
Y'all was great.
Us.
This was really fun.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
We need to do it again.
We need to do it again.
Definitely gonna be on ours. So
absolutely,
for sure.
If we can get like 3 more couples.
Yeah, that would be great.
That
would be
like
really. That'd be like a whole panel.
Panel.
That would be super
Different
dope.
dynamics.
Yeah, and that's what I really want to accomplish tonight. But people's schedules and all this other stuff. And that's what I really wanted to get tonight, because a lot of times we get really frustrated in our relationships and think we're just the only people going through our shit.
Right.
But it's other people going through the same shit you're going through. Don't look at these people's social media and think their fucking life is perfect.
Right.
And you're like, for real, man.
Right.
Don't trust the representative.
Absolutely. So, man, this is Killer TV, Best Conversations Podcast, Episode 8. Again, I want to thank Brittany. I want to thank Chris.
Thank you.
Shout out to your brother's studio right here that we
my
in.
studios right here.
Yes.
Out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
5205 Oak Park Drive.
Any shout outs before we get out of here?
Man, shout out to God.
Yes.
What up, bro?
Appreciate you. But now, Raquel, that is the writer and director of the play that I'm going into. She's the one that's provided this beautiful opportunity for me to be able to run with this, and I'm just thankful to be a part of this play that's gonna happen, and it's gonna touch lives.
Family, friends, y'all know who you are. We love you.
Yes.
Thank you for the support.
Much
Support my
love.
Man, Killer TV.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Great stuff he's got going on.
Yes, sir.
Proud of you, bro.
Thank you. I just want to shout out my wife, my family, my bros, everybody, man. Keep God first. I promise everything else will work out. Best Conversations Podcast. This is episode 8. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for listening. Peace and love. We out. Say what now?
Boom. You hit the
I hit record right. I hit this button.
Did you stop it on there?
Nah, I didn't stop it on here. Nah.
Where do you stop it though?
I'll let you do it.